Hello, everybody. I am the Pope Hope, and happy Thursday to you all today. I have a little cat on my lap. This is Mr. Fat Cats, and all he wants in life is snuggles. Anyway, so Mr. Snuggles is here on my lap with me while I talk to you guys about this channel, because I have so many feelings. So many feelings about this channel and YouTube in general and the tarot scene on YouTube. And I'm not satisfied. That's just the feeling I keep getting. I'm so not satisfied. And I have been so bored with YouTube lately. Just even watching other people's channels. I'm bored. I'm so bored. And everything is shit. And everyone's personalities are annoying. Hi. Hey. Sorry, I got distracted because my partner came home. So I had to say hi. Anyways. I guess what I'm saying is I have really been flirting with the idea of just scrapping this entire YouTube channel and starting a fresh one with an actual clear intention, because I only started this channel as practice. I was just feeling so pressured by the universe and just understanding my mission as I've been learning about myself. I know that I want to help people. I know that's what I'm supposed to be here doing. I know that it is supposed to be of a spiritual, intellectual, philosophical kind of thing. I know that I have a very unique way of connecting with my tarot cards and the kind of messages I pull through, but a lot of that is coming from advice and wisdom that I have earned through my life and through my studies. However, I just keep running into these same kind of issues of what do people actually need? What do people actually want? And what's actually going to help them? Because they're not necessarily all the same, especially when it comes to what people want. And I feel like YouTube tarot, the entire YouTube tarot scene has just devolved into pure junk food. And I don't want to contribute to having more junk food just flooding people's feeds on YouTube. There's probably about a freaking billion different tarot channels. Now, it's a little fewer if you're really trying to look for some general psychic healers, but even when you're trying to discern through these different psychic healers, a lot of these people are operating from unhealthy spiritual perspectives or ways of life, of being, and it's gonna resonate with some people. But I guess what I'm so focused on, or what I'm hung up on, is truth. Because I feel like humanity, when it comes to truths, we can have a one-size-fits-all approach. Now, I know that's very contradictory and confusing to generally what the New Age is telling us, which is there is no one-size-fits-all. Everything is custom. And I know I talk about forming a custom relationship with God and spirit and your own spiritual body. And that is custom. It is unique. However, I firmly, firmly, firmly believe in universal truths. We can see this through things like mathematics, or different scientific laws. Like we can track cause and effect. And I believe that we can track cause and effect within spiritual phenomena. I've always been very obsessed with mysteries, with the occult, with life after death. And I always had so much passion for this. And I've been studying for such a long time now. I've been studying for like about a decade now. And I'm like reaching a point of kind of, it's almost like this restlessness. I'm just not satisfied. And I feel a lot of that is us looking for things outside of ourselves way too much. Also, a bit of impatience. I feel, especially because of the internet and technology and whatever, people want shit now. Like, we want answers now. We want a fast solution now. But the problem with doing real spiritual work, there's a difference between just like writing shit on a piece of paper and like throwing petals everywhere and burning it and whatever. And it's like, sure, that's fine. You can do all of those little witchcraft rituals, sure. That can be a very helpful psychological tool for you to create an oath with yourself internally, okay? But what's actually going to make you a spiritual master is you actually changing your perspective in your mind, which means having to be comfortable with being wrong and being evil. And I say evil kind of lightly. And let me explain what I mean, okay? Because I have been going through the Christian Bible okay, backstory, in case you don't know. I was raised in a Christian family. I was raised in an extremely devout and almost culty level of Protestantism, okay? Like super conservative and really like no room for asking questions or nothing, very, very toxic. Even when I was, bye, fat cat. Even when I was a little girl, I think my mother would wear like a little head covering or something over their heads, like just like super heavy on the Judeo part of the Christian. And I hated it always. I hated it from the very beginning. I didn't fucking understand it. It was obviously contradictory. It was obviously evil. It was obviously overrun by mankind and their bullshit. And of course, I grew up and I went to Jesus camp and I understood that predators are attracted to Christianity because really the way that this toxic, dogmatic form of Christianity is right now literally grooms kids. And that could be a whole other video I could make about how Christianity grooms children. And that would explain why so many pastors and so many priests are child abusers, okay? So fast forward to when I got my freedom and my mother kicked me out at 17. I'm like homeless for my senior year, but I'm living it up in the back of my friend's car in Texas summer, learning every freaking book I could get my hands on at the library about spirituality, witchcraft, paganism, like everything, anything I could find, especially tarot. Studying tarot. Fast forward 10 years, and I start to understand the importance of Jesus as an individual, Jesus the Christ, separate from humanity's cult that they created around him, okay? Because if I have understood anything, is that people will take whatever they want from you and run with it, make it their own thing, and just like telephone game, and it becomes a mess. The second thing is the way the Bible was canonized and translated literally does obfuscate the message of the Bible. And there are various different spots that I can point to, and I'll probably inevitably make a video about this, you know, whether it's on this channel or my new channel. But, you know, like, part of me is really tempted to just maintain this channel so I can kind of show people where I've been and how I've transitioned, you know, from like kind of insecure, unsure of YouTube and how to create content and how to translate something I've been doing intuitively in person and translating that into this kind of Aquarian digital relationship. It has been very fascinating for me to kind of understand the energetics of relationship through technology and the internet. And I feel there can be some really good things that we can get from a spiritual community collaborating online. But I think more than anything, we just leave. I guess at this point, what I'm going to say is that there are a lot of people who understand that they can make money doing tarot online. And there are so many people I have seen who are making this their job, making it their sole income. Sorry, my video cut off. What I was saying is that people who go online and they're making tarot their sole income, they are losing their fucking minds. Have you noticed? Have you noticed how many tarot readers are just like, I mean, it's like constant like mental health posts and, oh, I'm trying to, oh, I just haven't been feeling inspired or whatever. And it's because you're just limiting yourself to one thing. And the second thing is, because you're limiting yourself, you cannot be authentic, period. You cannot be authentic. You cannot be 100% authentic. You're only like 75 max, you know. Obviously these are arbitrary numbers, but I'm just trying to I'm just trying to prove my point that the only people, even the readers, like I said earlier, who are genuine psychic healers, although I think I accidentally said the word general, but I meant to say genuine psychic healers, like the real ones who actually do this kind of work. They, you know, they go and they do their frickin' soul retrieval meditations and are slowly putting themselves back together. Even those people are not going to tell you their full feeling or opinion about things. Well, whatever. Honestly, I'm getting distracted because I want to go back to my point about like us needing to accept that we are evil, because there's this message in the new age, and I really believed it too. You know, yes, children are innocent. We are born as children and we are innocent. However, that innocence gets corrupted, and it can get corrupted very fast. Like, I made a little reference to Jesus camp, you know, when I was 11 and I got fucking groomed out of my mind, and that permanently fucked me up to this day. I really feel like in this year, the last 2 years or so that I've been with my partner, I have actually managed to confront just how wounded I have been around sexuality. And and that's obvious. I have my Black Moon Lilith in the 8th house. So that's a problem. And I'll go back again to like spiritual community online. You have certain people like what's that one girl's name? Marin Altimer, something like that. And she just like wears all red all the time. And I was just watching her, and she's always like, I don't know, I guess she lives in LA, so she's like a material girl. And she's showing this dress. She's like, oh, it's so comfortable. And she's literally like trying to hold her boobs into her dress and like trying to pull down this tiny little like flap to cover her butt. But it literally like cut like the side cut on her dress, like has it slit up to where it's like at the top of her bikini line. So it literally is just like a flap, and it was so short. That flap barely came down to underneath her butt cheek. So it's like the wind blows, she farts or something, and like that's flying right up. And I'm like, that's not comfortable. Why are you posting like yourself in the, and of course she's wearing like stripper platform heels. All of that stuff is fucking sexist. All that shit is so sexist. All of that shit is from being groomed very young, being exposed to sexual content very young, and having your innocence stolen from you very young. And culture, mainstream culture, works overtime to confuse us into thinking that that's normal and that's desirable and whatever, because you can make money doing that. But again, it's all external. Everything is like on the outside. There is nothing penetrating inside. And I see that with a lot of these tarot readers, astrology readers, whatever. You don't have to be spiritually wise to read tarot, okay? It comes with a fucking book. Do y'all understand that? Do you understand that tarot comes with a book that gives you the meanings of these cards? It takes a real psychic to actually be able to understand like what kind of emotional problems you are facing that these cards are hinting at, okay? But some people, it's like you're getting the most materialistic, surface level spiritual messages, or and I've been guilty of doing that because I've seen this energy pop up in my readings over and over and over and over, and I don't ask questions for my reading because I feel like I should be able to just tune into the energy, and I throw the cards down and they're gonna tell me this situation that needs to come through for whoever needs to hear it. But it's like the only people who are on YouTube right now are just, again, you're just like searching for things outside of yourself. I understand that some people are less developed in their spiritual journey, and therefore they really are dependent on these tarot readings. But I'm just like the reason why I avoid questions too is because even back way before I even got on YouTube and I was doing in-person readings with people, I'd have clients come in and I would have clients come in, ask me a question about their career or whatever, but then I start pulling out cards talking about a miscarriage that they just had a couple weeks ago. And of course, they melt into tears, and we have an extremely healing session processing this miscarriage that she was suppressing and denying by trying to focus on her work and be a workaholic. That's the kind of energy I want to give you. That's the difference between want, need, and help, okay? What do you actually need? What's actually going to help you versus what are you wanting? What do you want to hear? What are you trying to focus on? Because we have a big spiritual community that just regurgitates what everyone else says. And everybody wants to look like they're the it girl and they know stuff, so they're just going to say the status quo. They're going to say whatever everyone else has been saying instead of actually questioning things and actually putting forward your own hypotheses, okay? Because they're afraid of being wrong or looking stupid, okay? But here's the secret. We're all stupid. We all look stupid at some point in our life. We all come up with bad hypotheses, okay? But we're never gonna grow or push our mental, our paradigm, or our community forward if we're not allowing ourselves to offer up counter opinions or counter spiritual truths, okay? If you are like only listening to Abraham, Esther Hicks, and whatever, and you think that listening to channelers for everything is how you're going to ascend, and you're sort of like, oh, but they said this stuff and it really helped me. And it's like, what's a good example? It's very complex because sometimes what helps you doesn't feel good and sometimes throws your life into some chaos. But the thing is that when you are going through those things, the part that's making you stronger is you holding your faith. I'm so sorry. Honestly, I'll talk mad shit about Abraham Hicks because if you actually really listen to an Abraham Hicks clip or video or whatever, sometimes, they'll put the words up there for you too. So if you're like really listening carefully and following along with the words, you'll realize that they straight up say nothing. They talk like politicians. They just say a bunch of words that feel good, and they'll say a couple of vague general statements that maybe you could try to like twist into something that would fit in your life or whatever. And it's just a lot of like I said, it's like that spiritual junk food where it just gives you this kind of like jolt of energy through your body, and you're like, oh, I feel so. It's like you get a slight hit of like feeling like maybe your crown chakra is opening and you're getting these like epiphanies or whatever. But it's not. It's the equivalent of being persuaded to vote Democrat again. Like, they'll tell you a bunch of stuff that sounds good, that you're like down to vote for and support and whatever. But they're not really doing what they're saying they're going to do. They're not even like, oh my God, if you listen to Joe Biden, President Biden, give a speech, that's what it's like listening to channelers, except channelers are connecting with entities that are a little bit more charismatic and a little bit more word savvy because they are inherently trickster spirits. They are inherently our archons, our teachers, all right? So bringing me back to the point of us being evil, you have to understand that you are wrong. And even when you think you're right, you're still wrong. Everyone who has opinions is wrong. Your opinions are incorrect. This is like the big breakthrough that I have had, which is nobody knows what they're talking about. Everything that you hear is only hypothesis, all right? Unless somebody can give you actual proof and can actually scientifically recreate this over and over and over again. But even still, you'll have a lot of like manifestation coaches telling you things, and here's the thing about manifestation, because I believe that God will give you what you ask for, okay? God's smart, he's clever, and it's not, the universe isn't like a machine, okay? It's not a wish granting machine. You don't just like put your manifestations in there and forget about it and it poops it out, okay? It does not work that way. And I know that's how everybody in the world tells you that it works that way, okay? But what it comes down to is God and the lessons that he's trying to work on in your life with you right now. So sometimes God will give you the manifestation. You will get that phone call from that guy you've been obsessing over, even though he fucking ghosted you, but you're toxic, okay? Oh, but he's so great and this and that, whatever. Yeah, okay, sure. We've all been there, trust me. I've been there. So you manifest him back. Oh, you manifest this money, or you manifest this super materialistic designer purse or whatever. And what did that achieve? What did that get you? Okay, so you had a little bit of satisfaction because you got something you wanted. But at the end of the day, all you got was material things. What did you do? What was created in your life to give you some kind of emotional satisfaction? Nothing, because you're already there, ready, trying to manifest the next thing, trying to get more and get more and get more. And yes, life is something that is meant to be improved. You shouldn't just accept shitty standards or whatever. But there is definitely something to be said about this sort of Buddhist principle of just being happy with where you're at right now, with what you have right now. And not being happy with what you have right now and being so grateful so you can have all this manifestation powers. But it's like, no, having absolutely no intention to try and get from God, to try and take from God, to just literally be and just be grateful. That is being a spiritual master. That is what is actually going to develop you internally, to like strengthen your will, strengthen your assuredness within yourself. You may feel confident that you can manifest certain things, but eventually you are going to be blocked by God because he's going to want to make a point. All right? He's going to make a point that, no, actually, you don't need all this stuff. And no, actually, I'm not just like a free wish granting machine, and I'm not just going to give you whatever you want whenever you ask, every time you burn a goddamn candle or whatever. What God will help you with is internal issues, okay? That's the whole point of Jesus Christ, all right? Jesus went universal, all right? He died and he encoded the earth at Golgotha with his blood. And this has allowed for us to have God within us, all right? We are going internal to connect with God. We are supposed to be releasing our attachments to the physical world. That means, sorry, your Gucci bag, gone. Your G-Wagon, gone. Your piece of shit boyfriend that you had to use magic to make you like you, gone, all right? And like, because all that shit is fake and it's not going to satisfy you and it's not leading you towards any kind of long-term development or growth. going back to what I said, this tarot space on YouTube is junk food. It's junk food. It's, I'm lonely, so I'm going to get on here and listen to someone tell me how, gas me up, or like, oh, I have no friends or whatever, but I want to go listen to a tarot video about all this drama and gossip and try and pretend like maybe it's me. It's definitely opens the space for much more escapism and harm than good. All right. So I am really feeling the energetic proportions of this work faltering. It's like, I just don't think that the good is balancing out the harm, because really a good tarot reading is one that you're doing for yourself, by yourself. And that's contradictory to what some tarot reading teachers will tell you, okay? Because I had one woman, I'm sorry, I've been kind of nauseous, and I just cannot stop this weird burping. TMI, sorry. Okay, so one of the first witches I started kind of working with, she started to kind of teach me tarot, but I had to take over myself. Especially because she got cancer and just couldn't, she needed her fucking time. What the fuck was I saying? Anyway, so when I was studying with her, one thing she used to say all the time is never read tarot for yourself, because you're going to obfuscate the message with your hopes and fears and dreams and whatever. And she was saying that, you're either going to pull out cards, like the tarot is going to give you cards it thinks you want, or the cards that you do pull, you're going to have a bias when interpreting them. And unfortunately, I kind of believed that for a while. It sort of made sense. And really the only reason I think I believed that is because I felt like it was very difficult to read tarot for myself. But it didn't really stop me from trying, even though she told me not to. I get some of my best readings by myself. All right. And the thing about reading by yourself is that it's very internal. So when you're reading tarot, all tarot is really doing, if you're doing it right, is confirming what you already know, confirming your intuition. So if you're pulling tarot for yourself, you should already know what's going on, and you may even catch yourself groaning, or being tempted to put cards back in your deck or something. Like if you're shuffling, you're like, no, I don't think I'm going to take that one. You should take that one. You should take it, and you should read it, and you should force yourself to be uncomfortable. So if you have the understanding that, yes, we're all born innocent, but we get corrupted, some corrupted at very early ages, and this causes illness, okay? So we can have pity and understanding that every person on earth is sick right now and deserves pity and used to be innocent, and even though now they are grown and they are making choices, and that's their free will and that's their consequences they're choosing or whatever. Psychology is complex, and it can get very confusing between understanding trauma and free will, and how trauma can mask your free will. The same with ignorance, trauma, ignorance. These are all things that kind of keep us from tapping into our ultimate free will, like what we ultimately really, really want. And I think a lot of people stop excavating, sorry, can't say words, into their emotional bodies after a certain point. Let's say you were groomed by your Jesus camp counselor, okay? Okay, so let's say this guy, starts warming you up with some like kind of inappropriate conversations or whatever, and then escalates into like showing you porn or, talking to you about those very graphic things and convincing you that that's normal and we're being kind of lied to, and that, oh, well, sex is beautiful. Well, it feels good. Well, it's this. Well, it's that. Like really, really confusing you. So you grow up in this mindset, and you hear things like modern wave feminism telling you that like marriage is prostitution, and like actual prostitution is just women getting what they deserve, or some like weird shit like that. Like I hear so many. I'm like losing I'm like all over the place. There's so much I want to talk about. There's so many problems that I see that we need to talk about. Because I know people come on here and they'll see like Pope. They'll hear me talking about Christianity, but they don't understand the extremely like unique perspective of Christianity that I have. And I'm not just like your regular old like white girl from the South that's a Christian or something like that, because I don't even really feel comfortable calling myself a Christian, because I'm not a part of that religion. I don't identify with that religion, and I would say I'm very much sort of like an activist against it, because like I said before, I believe it literally grooms kids. It teaches you that your parents can abuse you and do whatever they want to you, and you still have to honor them, respect them, whatever. Like you're just supposed to like take the beating lying down. I never ever liked that. Never liked that. And God doesn't even work that way, okay? I mean, of course, there's a line in the Bible that says, like, do not provoke your child. But that can be extremely argued away as, like, parents saying, like, oh, well, you're always going to provoke the kids. Oh, they're teenagers. They're blah, blah, blah. Anyways. There are things that are discussed in that book, or things that Jesus was trying to talk about with people that were genuinely causing problems. And the problem in our world and humanity has and always will be culture. And that is what the war is about. Information and culture. That is the war that we're in. And that's the materialistic manifestation of the actual spiritual war that we're all a part of right now. You have to really call into question some of these paradigms that you've had that you think are extremely liberating, tolerating this and that and whatever, and understand, what are you tolerating? What are you what are you removing your boundaries for? What is the problem with having certain boundaries, okay? And is it possible that you are drawing your boundaries in a way that cross and violate another person's boundaries? These are all conflicts that we have everywhere, daily. in every kind of like political sphere, discussion, whatever. This is a fucking mess of a video. What the fuck? I'm kind of going all over the place. I'm kind of ranting and airheaded. You know, I've been kind of sick the last little while. But I guess the point I'm getting to, or sort of a conclusion I can put on this video, I can't think. Basically that I'm not quite satisfied yet, which is exciting because clearly that means there's more I need to learn. That was another point I wanted to bring up way earlier in the video when I was talking about like my tarot readings being based on my years of experience and study and blah blah blah, you know, but I'm like in my mid-20s, okay, so I really haven't lived that much life, and I understand I'm gonna be like infinitely more wise and useful when I'm like 45 or whatever, when I get to my 50s. You know, I'm a Capricorn, so I know my best years aren't even here yet. My best years are when I'm in my Capricorn age. And I have a Capricorn stellium. I want to learn. I want to keep getting better. I want to be actually useful, actually helpful. I don't care about being popular. I don't care about making money. And I know it frustrates every single person in my life, and it frustrates me too, just how much I don't fucking care about making money. I don't fucking care about working a job. All I want to do is just actually accomplish something in this planet. I just want to actually fucking help people. I want to help humanity, because otherwise I will just crumple into a puddle of just depression and hopelessness, you know, like Gen Z doomer syndrome, okay? And it's a constant battle to push against that. And so I need to do the work. And I definitely need financial support and donations from people to do it, because I am just a fucking neurodivergent individual who I'm never gonna be able to work a traditional job or a regular fucking job. I'm not gonna be able to do it, okay? And I know every basic bitch who's ever read anything about Capricorn tries to say that we are workaholics and we are this and that and whatever. And in a way, I am. Like, I can put my nose to the grind and really dedicate a lot of time to something if I think it's valuable, if I think it's actually helpful, if I think it's actually going to achieve something. And the problem is, this world is full of things, blinding amount of different things that you could do. And so many of them either don't fucking help you at all or actually hurt you, especially in the long run. There are so many things that are just instantaneously, maybe a little helpful, maybe a little satisfying, but it screws you over in the long run, okay? If you are so dependent on technology for this and that and whatever, you're not developing, you're shortening your attention span, you're making it harder to meditate, you're making it harder to read actual books, you're making it harder to develop reading comprehension skills. By reading comprehension skills, I mean that when you read a sentence, you understand the words in the sentence and what the sentence is saying, but then you can read between the lines, you can understand what is being insinuated by that sentence, or what a possible follow-up would be, or, you know, it's like a deeper intellectual understanding of the information that is being fed to you. But if information is being fed to you like boom, 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 like so fast, and it's so blinding, and there's so many, you know, like I'm looking at my YouTube page, you know, and it's just like you're whoops. So when I'm looking at YouTube, it's like I have my video right here that I'm watching, but then I also have all of this busy bullshit on the side. I got all these comments and stuff, and it's so blinding. Like I'm sorry, this is so shaky and gross. Whatever. But you get the picture. You get what I'm trying to say. Like, and like you're on YouTube, it's just so much stimulation. You are not able to slow down enough to completely digest something. Now, I'm a little dyslexic, and I've always kind of been a slow reader. But the thing is like, I will finish the fucking book. It'll take me a long time, maybe, because when I read really slowly, because I'm reading to comprehend. I'm reading to digest. I'm not reading to just complete. I'm not reading like it's, like a trashy teen novel romance that I'm just trying to like get through, and like the words don't mean anything. Nothing in the story really means anything. There's nothing really to like extract, okay? But when I'm going through a book like this book right here, this is called Rosicrucianism Renewed. This is a collection of presentations by Rudolf Steiner. Okay, it's not a huge book. I mean, it's not necessarily small. It's got pictures. But I'm still not done with it. I have listened to, ironically, I've listened to some of these presentations that were recorded into audio form and published in Rudolf Steiner Press Audio on YouTube. But obviously, when I'm going through and I'm reading this book, I am reading so slow. I don't necessarily take notes in journals. I've been thinking about trying that, especially because I'm getting like beefier and beefier books. And by beefier, I just mean more like intellectually dense books where I'm like, what the fuck does this word mean? Like, what? So there's a lot of like looking up and whatever. And you may be kind of turned off from that because it seems like so much work, but it's like, how are you going to grow yourself if you're not challenging yourself to get out of your comfort zone? Like, are you just going to keep it Gemini, keep it nice and pretty and surface level, and we're never really gonna, you're just going to keep flittering around like a little butterfly to every little YouTube video, or sometimes just like you watch 5 minutes of the YouTube video and you read the caption and you're like, yeah, that's good. And you're just like, bam, 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 like, consuming. That is the trap. Like, that's what corporations want. That's how they make money off of you, okay? They don't make money off of people reading slowly and digesting knowledge and growing themselves and challenging paradigms and challenging what every basic bitch on YouTube is saying right now. So I guess that's what I feel like. I feel frustrated with the amount of basic bitch energy I am feeding into this channel. And I want to be able to show you all a little bit more of my personality and who I am, and actually engage in this parasocial relationship dynamic. Because as somebody who grew up with very, very few friends, honestly didn't really have a best friend or a good friend until high school. And even then it was just like one person. And my mom was also very weird and particular about letting me hang out with people, especially like after school and like sleepovers and whatever. YouTube was my source of friendship. Like, YouTube was my source of filling up my social bar. And I have always felt like I would be a really, really good friend. There are a lot of people who I've done readings for, who are just like, can I pay you? Like basically, can I pay you to be my friend? Like, can I pay you to call you up and just ask you for advice or just talk things out with you? I have always been that person that you can go to and you can talk things out with, and we can get to the bottom of it, and I can see really different perspectives that you may not be able to see because of either your paradigms or just you're emotionally clouded or, obligations confusing you. And that's sort of the energy I want to be able to bring here on YouTube with you guys. I want to be able to be that friend that you can ask for advice, and it doesn't have to be a super official like spiritual leader or life coach giving you this and that and whatever. I'm not that person, okay? Like I said, I am a girl in my mid-20s. I know I haven't lived that much life. I will say I've had a crazy fucking life, okay? I've had a very dramatic life. I've probably lived about 2 lifetimes worth of trauma already in just my 20-something years of life here. But the point is that true wisdom, or something that is truthful, will be helpful regardless of whether a young person is telling you or an older person is telling you. Obviously, in the spirit world, and after what Jesus did for us, all right, your physical form doesn't matter. God can speak through whoever the fuck he wants, okay? And so just because somebody looks really clean, really polished, and they have, real nice house and huge, crystal cathedrals and shit like that, if anything, that should be your red flag. The materialism should be your red flag, because somebody who is spiritually developed doesn't need that shit to make them feel good, okay? You don't need to go rent out some exotic Bali resort for yourself to recharge and just connect to my spirit guides and just heal and self-love. And it's like, your self-love causes harm for other people. And that's the thing about finances too. We need money. We have to deal with capitalism. Here in the US, we have to deal with capitalism. We have to deal with the fact that we do need money and we do need to eat. We do need to survive, blah, 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 blah. Okay? But there is something to be said about how unethical it is to be a billionaire or a millionaire, to actually hoard that much money, that many resources, when you are cognitively aware of the fact that there are other people who are suffering because they don't have that money. But it's just sitting in your bank, raising your self-worth or whatever the fuck these people are convincing themselves, that they needed to spend $80,000 on a new ass and tits and whatever. It's just so not genuine. And I am so tired. It makes me angry. And I'm so tired of these stupid tarot readers online telling people, yeah, go get your augmentation done. Like, oh yeah, go get your BBL. Like, you do you, girl. You love yourself. Like, people are just mad. They're just jealous because you're doing this and that and whatever. And it's like, there's so much evidence done to show how harmful plastic surgery is to women in general. And I'm not even talking about the fact that, yes, you will die on the table. You will die on the table. Even if you have a good doctor, accidents happen. you could be like seriously injured and hurt. Not to mention, obviously it's surgery, so you literally are hurting yourself. You literally are cutting yourself open, shoving things in or ripping things out, like, and that's just not healthy. That's something that has been brought to us by Nazi scientists experimenting on Jews and blacks and gays. Does that make you feel good? Okay. And I know, oh, you're just one of these people. Oh, you're not ugly or you're whatever, so you don't understand. Like, your nose doesn't look like my nose, so you wouldn't understand. Like, oh, this is just for me. This is just for me. And it's like, no, it's fucking not. If you are getting work done on the outside of your body and you're trying to convince yourself that it's for you, that's a lie. That is a lie. The only thing that it's for you is that it's for everyone else so that they all think you look a certain way, and it's all about you. You just are trying to control the way other people perceive you or look at you so you can feel a certain way about yourself. That's the only thing that's for you. Okay, but if you are actually doing something for you, then you're actually going to love you. Okay, you're actually going to love your nose, however it was formed, because your grandma had that nose and her grandma had that nose and whatever. Okay, like, also, side note, side rant. Okay, women, we control what beauty is. Okay, we are the deciders of beauty. And if everybody is getting these surgeries and everybody is trying to have the Instagram filter IRL, this is just going to make these sort of body dysmorphia issues, these self-esteem issues worse, because literally everyone's solution is, okay, well, just keep getting this surgery then. Like, oh, well, then you can get this surgery too. Oh, well, you don't look like that. And then everybody kind of looks the same. And then everybody starts to look kind of funky. And then, people aren't really appreciating what original natural humans look like. I mean, people are not going to... at this point now, I've noticed a trend where people are just unattracted to the plastic look. Like, when everybody has the same kind of like tight and lifted, tight and lifted, and our lips are like this, even though we're white. It's like, I don't get it. It's like we're flirting with like transracial, and that's obviously racist. It's like, why can't you just appreciate the vessel that you chose to be born into? Or even if you didn't choose it, it's you. It's inherently you. A lot of these things that we feel like make us ugly, a lot of this ugliness that people have is just unhealthiness. And that's a whole other conversation to have about what is true health, because that's another thing that we are just being lied to. And it all comes back to just money, people trying to make money, okay? Doctors trying to make money, pharmaceutical companies, tarot readers trying to make money, whatever. But yeah, I definitely want to change the energy on this channel, start making some different videos, and honestly, maybe really just saying goodbye to tarot, taking a break from it, just because I don't see it helping. I don't feel it helping. And there's so many other people that it's like, if that's your vibe, that's your aesthetic, then do that. If you want a personal reading from me, that's ideal. That's better. I think that's a lot better than watching a general reading on YouTube, And I know tarot readings can get expensive, pricey, blah, blah, blah. And I know also that I had said a while back, hey everybody, I had been recording for so long I literally was talking for like about an hour and the storage on my phone filled up. So let me get back to what I was saying. I had previously told you guys that I would start offering paid tarot readings, but honestly, I don't want to do taxes. I don't want to. Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to have to pay. We shouldn't have to be paying so much money for these things that we claim are necessary. Like, why are the necessary things so expensive? Don't you think that's sort of like a toxic mindset that we've developed kind of as a product of living in America or living in capitalist countries where like the health insurance here is so expensive, housing so expensive, cars so expensive. It's like everything that is kind of necessary is so expensive. And at this point, they're starting to make technology just necessary, and that shit is expensive. Obviously, like I'm using my Chinese off-brand Samsung to record videos, and that's why it always looks not so good. It doesn't look so crisp. I don't look like I don't know, an Instagram model or whatever. And I don't wear makeup really. I mean, sometimes I will, but really I don't wear makeup. I wear makeup like 5 times a year. That's my humble brag, okay? I accept the average. I love my face. I love being beautifully normal and average, okay? Like, the plain Jane thing is a fucking vibe, okay? Because plain Janes don't have to spend $300+ a month on products, okay? The only product I use is I boil flax seeds in water to make gel, so my hair is not so frizzy. But I'll be honest, I'm pretty lazy. I don't make it every time, so I don't necessarily use it every time. Anyway, so I've ranted enough. I have no idea how I'm going to chop this down or make this like concise or whatever, but you know, if you actually like me, if there's something that interests you about me or you're just curious about me, then I have a feeling you'll watch this video, you'll be interested in the channel, you'll stick around or whatever. If I really do go through with starting up another channel or whatever, I'll let you guys know, all right? I'll be honest, part of the reason why I'm considering getting rid of this channel is because I know some very toxic people, like from my personal life, watch this, and also toxic people I don't even fucking know watch this shit. Okay, I can feel y'all. I know. Obviously, I'm like a psychic reading your tarot, and you're like popping into my collective, so I can feel you. I know you're there. I know you're watching. You're disgusting. I cut you off for a reason. Please leave me alone. Yeah, so that's part of the reason why I'm also flirting with the idea of starting a fresh channel. But yeah, we'll just have to see how that goes. Let me know y'all's thoughts on my big old rant. And I look forward to the next one. Take care. Oh, make sure you subscribe and like and all that shit.
This program was made possible by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.